Hi, today I'll be talking about the stoned ape theory and the theories behind how people got from apes to people while the other apes are still apes. And this theory was originally thought of by Terence McKenna in 1992 in his studies of Eastern Africa, more specifically the Great Rift Valley. He pinpointed this location because there were many grasslands with conditions that were perfect for growing mushrooms. Um, in lots of cultures, the mushroom is, well, like magic mushrooms are looked at as like well, there's a reason why they're called magic. They're looked at as like a source of magic for most like life forms, and they think that's what sped up people's brains just eating them. Like there's one theory of why the Indians worship cows is because from cow dung is where most of like the magic mushrooms come from, at least the ones that make people see things. So in the Great Rift, like Savannah, East Africa, that area, there's a lot of grasslands with a lot of big animals with a lot of dung and then moisture, blah, blah, blah. That's what grows it. And so so they believe that the mushrooms have sped up people's development. Now, personally, I have never tried them. Like probably from 90% of people that I've talked to about it, they say it's a great experience. It's like life changing, blah blah blah. They say it's great. Like they don't say a single thing bad about it. And then I get like a couple of people that are like, "Oh, I saw the devil. Oh, I saw this. I saw that. Oh, it was terrifying. It was just straight freaking out." And I have a pretty active brain, and uh, it's already pretty creative. So I have like the fear of like taking the mushroom, and it's like a really bad experience. But then also, it's like maybe if you take it, I hear that's what like helps a lot of people and like helps them solve a lot of their problems. So possibly we'll see if I do them. Obviously, I'll make a video about it, but doesn't seem likely. And the apes that were in that region that we came from, there were like three steps. I only wrote down the Australopithecus because that's the apes that we came from. I'll get more into them in a second. And then it was like Homo hermaphrodites, when Australopithecus, Homo hermaphrodites or whatever, and then Homo sapiens, which is us. And the Australopithecus, they are the monkeys from that region, or the apes, or whatever. And they are the only apes who have thumbs like us. If you see the hand, it's like right here. It's perfect for grabbing things, whatever. But on most apes, instead of having their thumb right here, they have their thumb or grabber joint all the way up here. So you can't really do shit with it. It's just kind of four fingered hand. So like you can like rake, but like you can't really do nothing with it. I'll make that the thumbnail. But yeah, so that's why there's another theory of like the mushrooms, highly plausible. They've been known to expand people's brains. They might have sped up the process of the brain of why we're so much smarter than all the other apes and every other animal on the planet is we're doing that. And oh, actually, I didn't even look this up. Might be talking on my ass on this one. But like smartest animal in the ocean, what is it? A dolphin. What do dolphins do? They're little rapey little animals. But pufferfish, um, they'll like bounce them around on their nose and they'll all just get high as fuck off of the shit from the pufferfish. Maybe that's a hallucinogen. Maybe just yapping out my ass. But what they're saying is that the mushrooms like opened up people's brains and just really sped up the process. But why it's important, why I said we're the only ones with the thumb here and not up here, and we can actually grab things and like do different things with our hands, is they think we might have been chosen. Now, some people, this might go along with religion, that Stephen Thorne's, it might go along with religion because then we are like the chosen people or chosen animal, or we are made in God's image, and maybe that was just a part of God's plan that we were going to look like apes for a little bit, and then when the time was ready due to his plan and we have no idea about anything, then it might have been the perfect time to be humans. And maybe, looking at things we're doing now, either if God's real, he might spike us down pretty soon. He likes to use volcanoes, he likes to use meteors, he likes to use floods. Spike us down, or we might go to space, and he might help us go to space. He might not be real. Bunch of possibilities. Just gotta keep an open mind. So who knows? It might be a God-chosen thing that we were the only apes that had our thumb, obviously, where I keep pointing out. Or what you gotta think about is when people say like a higher intelligence might have came here, it also might have not have. Like, so many people are heartstrung on like aliens, like, oh, I saw an alien. Well, how many people do you think are just out in the country, like they'll see a plane fly over, they'll see whatever fly over, and they'll be like, oh, it was an alien. It was an alien flying in the sky, blah, blah. It's like, how many of those people just missaw something? And then it's like, how many people of those are lying? How many people of those are crazy? And, what if they're not lying? What if people are seeing these things? Because a lot of Air Force pilots have been seeing them. And, they could also be lying. They might also have bad technology that are misseeing things. They might not be real at all. But if another thing to think about is if you believe that we are the only smart life force in the universe, then that goes along with the God argument. And it could go along with the God argument that we're not the only smart intelligence in the universe. But so you believe we're the only planet in this giant entire thing that can expand and do things? I think that's highly unlikely. But looking at the pace of things that we have, there's a lot of like super high tech things that are public information, and leading edge tech is public information. Like, I believe like with rocket ships, that's leading edge. I think with probably like a lot of like rocket ships, mainly because I feel like those could be used as missiles, but we already have missiles that can shoot around the world, so that's not really a secret. But there's a lot of things that they had 30 years ago in the government that they just didn't release for the obvious reason of, if we have this super advanced technology, why would we want the other governments that may conspire against us or may go against us that also have those technologies? So we try to keep everything we can hidden for as long as we can, and then as soon as it's public information, we show that shit off. Like AI, like the reason why I've been starting to feel a little bit better about AI is because everyone's saying it's gonna ruin the world, it's gonna take over all of us, which it totally could. But I feel like AI has been around longer than people think. I feel like AI, I feel like the military, like I saw this thing talking about, like they've had like computers that have been able to break down and predict battles for a while and predict other things for a while. So it's like that was public information. What wasn't public information? Did the AI get leaked and then it had to become public information? Did another country figure it out that it had to become public information? So I feel a lot better about AI to where I feel like it's going to be like a nuke. Like a nuke, we have enough explosives to destroy the entire planet like 50 times over, but we just don't. So I feel like it'll probably be the same thing with AI, to where like it could destroy us all, it could do that, but I feel like it won't. I just feel like it won't. But to that of like the government always being like approximately 30 years ahead of whatever anybody has in like the public. Think about 100 years ahead, 200 years ahead, 1,000 years ahead, million years ahead. Who knows how much more advanced the people are on other planets, if they are on other planets. Because what has really hindered humans like progress is we've had to restart multiple times. Like there was for sure multiple volcanoes that has knocked us back. I think at one point we were down to 5,000 humans on the entire planet, which is pretty insane. But we know volcanoes have knocked us back. There has been floods that have wiped out entire civilizations. The burning of the Library of Alexandria, that's like lost so much information, knocked people back. Like I said again, like we know there was a great flood. It's talked about in a lot of religions. Like it's talked Noah's Ark. It's talked about in the Norse religions. There was a great flood in their religion. There was a great flood in the Muslim religion, which is, so that's basically Norse, way up there on Europe, Christian, this part of Europe, Middle Eastern, that down part of the world. So if they all said there was a great flood around the same time, it probably happened. Like another thing to the aliens, when people say in the Christian religion, or I think it was Christian, or in a lot of Greek mythology or Roman mythology, is people only understand what they can understand. So if you saw a spaceship in the sky, but all you know is a chariot, what are you going to call it? You're going to say it's a chariot in the sky, flying chariots. And if someone, Zeus, throwing thunderbolts down at you, like maybe somebody was zapping them with something they didn't understand, and the only thing they could understand is that there was a great god in the sky throwing bolts at them. Like, you can only understand what you understand. Like, there's this thing where it's the like crash retrieval thing that has been very public information for a little bit now, is where they're figuring out that like they're leaving crafts for us to where they think they're just leaving them there for us to study, but we've learned some things from it. Like they think we've definitely learned some things from it, but you also gotta think, it's like, what are you gonna do if you go back to the 1800s, you find the smartest person in the world, and you give them an iPhone, you give them a MacBook, like it's great technology, but what the fuck are they gonna do with it? Like maybe they've already thought that part out. What does this guy Sepa Hojadi fucking mentioning in chat? What the fuck does that guy want? But, like I was saying, I don't know what I was saying. It's like, yeah, it's like you only know what you know. It's like, I feel like I know a lot of things, but if you bring something to me that I don't know, I just don't know it. But then there's some things you bring to me, I know every single thing about it. So it's, you know what you don't know, and then you learn along the way. So, yeah, so there could be people way more advanced because we've had to restart several times. We think humans are way older than people think. Like, they think Egypt is way older. They think there were civilizations before that. We're just figuring things out. And, like, they're just figuring out there was, like, probably advanced civilizations in the rainforest. Probably advanced civilizations in North America. So you kind of got to rewrite how everything works. Because North America, they kind of got fucked. Because they just got hit by the diseases. They never had it. There's like great populations here. Who knows? They might have great cities. They found like giant blocks stacked up in a wall in like the middle of the forest in America. And they don't know what else is out there because there's just so much to look through that it's possible. They have radars now that can even scan through the dirt. Oh, this fucking guy, Sepa Hojadi, sent me messages on Instagram now? What the fuck? But, they have the technology to scan through the ground. And we're gonna find everything. It'll be really, really interesting soon that we're gonna find everything. But like I was saying, it's like, people think we don't have the ability to advance people, and humans are just humans, and people think we're going to look like this in the next 100 years. We're not. Because we already have... So, aliens could have advanced us because we're already figuring out, like at the stage we're at right now, how to advance other life forms. So, if we can advance other life forms now, imagine what we'll be able to do in 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, a million years, like I said. Like, really what we have to figure out is how to store knowledge without, like, because there will be another volcano, there will be whatever, what's really bad is if a wave from the sun hits us, like a solar flare, like we just haven't been hit by one yet, but if the correct one hits us, everything gone. Everyone's fucked. All technology is destroyed. I'm sure some people have a backup plan for it, but most people don't. A lot of people will die if that happens. But, you know, it's how the world's set up. But what I was getting to is the things that we have now is like what we have currently, like as of this moment, is Neuralink, is what you can put into someone's brain, Like if they can't really move that good with whatever disease or disability they have, then they'll be able to move again. And then there's this other thing that is starting to work, but they think it will be fully open to the public in 2030, is Skyron Stedrond, which is a BCI brain computer interlink, which can give people the ability to move with what was it? Yeah, without going into your brain. Oh wait, no, that one. It's still attached to your head, but not in your brain. So it's like on the outside. The thing about the Neuralink that really sketches people out is that it's on the inside of your brain. So if it overheats, gets hacked, whatever, breaks off, it's in your brain. So, like, really easy way to fuck up there. But with it on the outside of your brain and still be able to do all the same things, then obviously it's way more safe, but it's probably cooking your brain either way. People don't even know what Bluetooth is doing to you yet. Like, I don't know, but that's cooking you. People say Wi-Fi's cooking you, so I can't even imagine putting that thing right next to your brain, how much that's going to cook you. But what I was going to talk about, I got a little ahead of myself, is what they are developing is a way to where it will be like waves. I don't know what it would be connected to, but like waves for people with like ALS, whatever, brain problems. Then they'll be able to move. Their brain will actually work better with these brain waves. Like, which will enhance cognitive function such as memory, attention, and problem solving. They've already tested the waves a little bit on people. Like I said, they probably already have it down 30 years ahead of us. Just can't release it to the public so every other country will have it. But they already solved 40% of puzzles, or 40 more. So like whatever you solve is 40% more. So if we're already doing that, like I said, 100 years in the future, 200 years in the future, whatever, it's gonna be really insane. And then we already have the ability to clone, and we already have the ability to alter genes a little bit, but China is the most public country about it. I'm sure U.S. is doing it. I'm sure Russia. I'm sure UK. I'm sure all the rich ones are all looking into it. But China has just been the most public about it, and they've made it a mission to make hyper intelligent people. So if we can already clone people and we already know how to put the genetics in line, how far away are we from putting the genetics in line, be able to take things out, be able to put things in? It's like, how far away are we? Like, that's something, if you made it this far, I'm going to leave for you to think about. Because it's like, how far away are we from being something completely unrecognizable and being a world that's unrecognizable? And could it be possible that a lot of this extinct animals were genetically created and the ones that are left are just the ones that are supposed to be here? Something to think about. I'm going to leave you with that. And yeah.